Hey kids, guess what? It's time for another book! Daddy found this one at the library. Guess what? It's Spider-Man! And he's going against a big lizard. I know you said you wanted a dinosaur, but I thought you'd like this one too. So, because it mixes Spider-Man with a big reptile. Okay, here we go. Spider-Man, the Great Race. Peter Parker knew Dr. Curtis Connors was in trouble. With a picture of a lizard splashed across the cover of the Daily Bugle, Peter Parker could only imagine what sort of trouble Connors was in. Peter also knew that his boss, J. Jonah Jameson, would be mad that he didn't have exclusive snapshots of the lizard. Jameson relied on Peter for these types of photos. While Peter walked into the Daily Bugle, J. Jonah Jameson called him into his office. "Parker, the lizard is on the loose, and I need pictures," JJ demanded. "I don't care if you have to camp out in a swamp. I want a shot for the front page, and I also want a picture of Spider-Man fighting the lizard," JJ said with a grin. He thought he was asking the impossible, but he expected perfection. "I'm your man. I'll get you shots," Peter told his boss. Meanwhile, Dr. Connor's wife was very upset. She had seen her husband mixing up a strange formula earlier that week. She knew that he was trying to create a serum that would help him grow his missing arm back, but she also knew that it came with a serious side effect. It turned Dr. Connors into an evil villain called the Lizard. Spider-Man found Mrs. Connors sitting on her porch. She was staring at a picture of her husband. "I wish he didn't care about growing that arm back." She looked at Spidey with concern. "I'll find him," Spidey told Mrs. Connors. "Don't worry. You need to bring him to the lab and feed him this antidote." "Got it. He won't be a lawless lizard for much longer. Soon he will be back and being good old Dr. Connors." Spidey searched all through New York City and finally spotted the lizard. Spider-Man chased him into an ice cream shop, hoping to lock the cold-blooded beast in a freezer, which would diminish the lizard's strength. But the lizard escaped, crashing through the window. "I'm not a fan of frozen treats," the lizard called out to Spidey. "If you try to run from me, you're going to be on rocky road," Spidey taunted. The lizard stomped through the streets, creating a wave of destruction, crushing car windows and damaging storefronts. Ah! Spidey trailed behind the lizard as they made their way up the building where Dr. Connors had his lab. "Once you go in, you're not coming out," Spidey said as he scaled the side of the building. The lizard tried to knock Spidey down with his powerful tail, but it didn't work. The lizard's roar echoed through the streets of the city. Arrgh! People crowded around to see the excitement atop of the building. Spidey was going to save the day. Spider-Man made his way to the lab, grabbing the antidote. The lizard crashed through the door, followed by a group of angry reptiles. Spidey knew the lizard must have given them something to make them so vicious. Suddenly, a snake slithered through the door, making its way towards Spidey. "Yikes!" Spider-Man called out as a small lizard bit his foot and a snake coiled itself around his leg. Spidey quickly fired webs at Wizard. Psh, 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 psh. Reptiles attacked. The lizard fought off the webs, pushing Spidey back and swinging his tail at Spidey. The team of reptiles attacked again. Spider-Man didn't know if he was going to be able to fight the lizard and the many cold-blooded fiends that surrounded him. Spider-Man was in full battle with the lizard. Threw a desk at him. Spidey fell down in pain. His body ached, and he didn't know if he would be able to get up. "Ouch!" Spidey called. "Dr. Connors, do you realize what you are doing? You have to stop the lizard." But it was pointless. Dr. Connors had no control once the lizard was unleashed. You couldn't reason with him. You just needed to give him the antidote. Spidey eyed the antidote as the lizard seized the opportunity to attack Spider-Man. He ordered the reptiles to hold Spidey down, and the lizard threw a bunch of powerful blows. Spider-Man tried hard to fight back, but was careful that they didn't bump into the antidote. He didn't want to spill it. Finally, Spidey broke free, grabbed the antidote, and poured it onto the lizard's rough tongue. Within seconds, the lizard began to disappear, and Dr. Connors reappeared. Spider-Man was very happy to see a friendly and familiar face. The beasts had been tamed, and Mrs. Connors would be happy to see her husband back home. Wow, what happened? Dr. Connors asked. It's a long story, Spidey sighed. Soon, Mrs. Connors and her husband had her husband back, and J. Jonah Jameson had his front page spread. Everyone was happy. Peter came home to one of Aunt May's amazing home-cooked meals. How's your day, Peter? Aunt May asked. Peter didn't even know where to begin. Aunt May didn't know Peter was Spider-Man and certainly couldn't tell her about his fight with the lizard. Don't forget to save room for dessert, Peter, Aunt May said as Peter finished his soup. I picked up a pint of ice cream, your favorite, Rocky Road. I thought you'd like that book. I know how much you like Spider-Man there, Henry, and I hope you enjoyed it too, Pearl and Titus. I miss you guys so much. I love ya. Be good for mommy, and I'll talk to you soon. I love you, kids. Bye.